Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back to my definitely normal Forever World stream, where that's definitely what's happening today. Hi, guys. Thank you, goodness, but go to Jesus Christ. There's a lot going on right now. Hi, guys. Congratulations to Ghost Gone on 200 check-ins today. We'll get some stuff out of the way, and then we'll get started. Congratulations to Ghost Gone on 200 check-ins today. Congratulations as well to Sicilator on 100 check-ins. Can we get some one of us in the chat for them? Oh my gosh, thank you, Ridge, for subscribing. I appreciate that a ton. Congratulations. Thank you, Michelle Barino, for subscribing. I appreciate that a ton. Thank you, Belted Galloway, for the follow. Thank you, Sunkissed Peaches, for the follow. Congrats to Silver Ice Dancer getting first. Thank you, who else? Let's see. Okami Fan for subscribing. Thank you so much. Jonovan 2, thank you so much for 22. I appreciate that a ton. Thank you so much. Wiki for the Prime sub. Nia Games for the Prime sub. Oh my God. Chaos Creations and Anime Inks for the follows. August for the 11 months. Anathra for subscribing. J Hips for following. Luna for the follow. Geez, there's so many things happening. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome in. Hi, everybody. Ellie just hit 100 check-ins. Congrats. All right, so, oh my God, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Wait, hold on. Hold on. I have to do something. Wait, hold on. What? What? Guys, Scott's trying to join the stream and he can't. Okay, anyway. Anyway. Guys, I have a story to tell you. I have a story to tell you now. Thank you so much to everyone subscribing. There's so much going on. Curb, thank you for the follow. Dark Moon, welcome in. Also, everyone on... There's 2 new memberships on YouTube. Jeez Louise. Can someone do me a favor and work on unbanning Scott's Major? Because I unbanned him a while ago, and it's not... Thank you, Vintage. Okay. So... If you have no idea what I'm about to talk about, put a 1 in chat. If you are completely unaware of what is going on, put a 1 in chat. Nangel, Alarna Cherry, Mac, HLM Honey, Randy, Samantha Lewis, Risen Prince. Okay. All right. Vintage, you'll probably have to DM Scott to tell him that, because this is so weird. This is so funny. You are not allowed to view this stream. Okay, whatever. 111. Okay, I see a bunch of 1s. All right. So, what's the issue? I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna forward this to Vintage and she can figure it out. Anyway. Over the past week, my friends and I discovered a series of behaviors and actions that we pieced together that has been happening over the past several months that resulted in me banning and removing 2 members from Skyblock Kingdoms. I have told this story 34 times already. 34 times already. To as many people as would listen in the circles that I am in. And through telling this story, I have learned more and more and more about the people I banned. So we are going to start at the I watched Lagundo's stream today. Actually, put a 1 in chat if you were in Lagundo's stream this morning. Because that would... Okay, a lot of people were in Lagundo's stream. Oh my god, this is the fastest I've ever seen chat move. Okay. Okay, got it. All right. So, a lot of you were in Lagundo's stream. So, we're going to be covering a lot of the same information. However, the difference is where Lagundo was on the outside, looking in, and was basically ousted and was on the outside looking in, I had the very fortunate experience of being at the dead center of all of it. So, let's roll back the clock a little bit. We're going to start by going back. Also, I'm just going to leave it on this screen for now because this is pretty. Also, I will do my best to give trigger warnings if there's anything I bring up that could be a trigger warning. So I will do my best. I will admit, I'm a family-friendly streamer for a reason. It's because I'm kind of bad at them. So this stream will be saved on YouTube forever. And will also be... can you silence all the alerts? Yes, I can. Give me a sec. I will do that. This stream will also... it may contain harsh language. It may contain things that you like. It may contain those things. Harsh language and trigger warnings. I will do my best to cover them before they come up, just so you know. I was gonna say that sound very fortunate to me. Yeah. Anyway, I guess to go back in time, I'll start back in January and go from there, because that's where Lagundo started. And I guess yeah, if you want to hear, like, if you want it all to make sense, that's a good place to start. So back in January, well, actually, technically back in November, a little bit of pre-context for the context for the context for the context. Back in November, we were doing stuff. This maybe need to change the stream title for this part. Yeah, it's a good point, actually. Hold on. This is why my mods are great, talking about what happened. The go live notification was wrong. That's fine. Trigger warning, this stream will include sensitive topics. Yes. Doesn't mean y'all can't behave yourself. Yes. Okay, so back in November, I want you to know Skyblock Kingdoms Season 1 and the first 5 months of Season 2, Skyblock Kingdoms was run as a complete democracy. We voted on everything, and it took a long time to decide stuff. And it was brought to my attention by certain individuals that they were annoyed at how long it took stuff to get decided. And wouldn't it be a good idea to kind of just decide everything yourself, Viking? Or maybe have some kind of way to make a smaller group? And to be fair, that's months ago. I'm not going to lie. The origins of what we called the council are a bit fuzzy in my head. Could have all been me, could have not. I don't know. I'm not going to dwell on that. But I basically liked the idea of the council of Skyblock Kingdoms, which was 5 members, to help speed up decision process making on the server. And I took inspiration from POW, because on POW, it's Owen and Oppo, right? It's the 2 of them. They're the showrunners, not the showrunners. They're showrunners. Yeah, I guess they're the ones who decide everything. So I took inspiration from them. So I was like, I'm going to try to do this. Oh my God, wait. Ah, Scott's here. Why am I... There we go. Yes, we got him in the chat. Finally. Thank you, Scott, for saying something. Hi, Scott. Welcome in. Scott's free. Yay. Okay. Scott, I think I figured out what it was. I forgot Twitch has a block feature. Everyone will understand this in a little bit. Okay, we'll get to this in a little bit. Anyway, the Council of SBK was 5 people. 3 of whom, hey, thanks for the follow, Scott. 3 of whom were myself, Avid, and Marmalade. I won't talk about the other 2. They're not important to the story at the time, but they were impacted. This council, I've thought back, I realize now that Avid and Marmalade were using it to influence the server more than they could in the past. and were using it to push decisions and changes that they wanted that I didn't catch at the time as like that kind of direction because of, I'll explain it a bit. So now that you know what the council is, in January, the idea was brought to me by Avid and Marm that we should have an activity requirement on the server. Basically saying that everyone on Skyblock Kingdoms needs to be committed because we only have so many slots. So, because you trust the people you thought were your friends. Yes. So, I was like, you know, that makes sense. I guess, yeah, like if we just put out a basic requirement, it was literally something like 1 video a month or 1 stream or 2 streams a month, like it was super duper low. Something that sounds good on paper. Yes. Yes. Their argument for it was, again, everyone in SBK should be committed, and we should be making space. If people aren't committed, we should be making space for people who are more committed, which was kind of weird, right? So but anyway, at the time, it sounded like a good idea. Also, I want to read chat, but I won't be able to like fully tell the story if I constantly stop, interrupt, and read chat. So I'm gonna keep reading, and if I miss something, don't be offended. I usually read chat really well. Today is just gonna be weird. Today's a weird day. So don't worry, we'll get to the part later where over the past week where I have all the screenshots and everything. But they implemented this idea, and with the council, what they would do is they would propose an idea. I would say, that's pretty cool. Or I would go, I'm not too sure. And if I said, I'm not too sure, they would go to Vintage. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to name drop the other person in the group chat. They would go to the other members of the council and convince them it was a good idea, so they had a majority vote. The majority vote system, I got said earlier, fine. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the first one to reveal this. And basically, they would weasel their way to implement things because we thought it was all a good idea. So this became a problem in March. This is we're now still in context mode. We are still in context mode. We haven't gotten to the story. We're still in context mode. In March, they come to me saying, we should start working on the roster for season 3. 3 months before the season's supposed to end, we should start working on the roster list for season 3 and preparing for season 3. At the time, once again, I'm like, yeah, why not get ahead of the curve? Let's work on it. And then they're like, these are the people we should kick based on activity. And they bring a list of, well, actually, I help them make the list because of the requirements we set up, or prior, we make a list of people. It's like, well, these 6 people haven't met the requirements for activity. Okay. And then I'm told we should send these out now so that they can prepare and be notified so that they don't start making plans for season 3 so that when they're removed, so when they leave, the leaps in logic I ignored, guys. I am so embarrassed by all of this. I have to preface this. This is the most embarrassing thing I have ever done. I am beyond apologetic, sorry, all of these things. And people have told me not to be, but I still am, and I still feel these ways. So the weekend comes when we're supposed to do this. Guys, I kid you not. We had a meeting as the council a week prior. I am in this call. We come up with this list. We draft up these cold corporate messages. And we're like, all right, we'll work on these for the week. We get through the week. I am standing in Chicago O'Hare Airport when I'm told I should send them out now. I am not at my desk in a good place to be able to communicate and facilitate communication. I am standing in Chicago O'Hare Airport in the line to board the plane when I'm told, well, we got to send these messages out now. We said we'd send them out now. And I'm like, well, yeah, but And at the point, I was like, whatever, I'll copy and paste the message and send them. This was my first trip ever to New York to visit my sister at her university. She just graduated. I was there a few months ago, or last month. I actually kind of like Chicago O'Hare. Hot take. Anyway, I shoot off these messages. And then, very understandably, everyone gets mad. Big shocker. The 6 people I message are really not that happy, right? And I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I messed up. This is not right. And that's when I get a bombshell dropped on my head the next day by Avid and Marmalade. And I'm not gonna say what that specifically was, because that's not my thing to say. But basically, I was told some very, very extreme lies about certain people. Yeah, they changed the message too into being the way they were when a lot of people weren't awake too, just to throw it out there. Yes, they did. Avid and Marm opened it and read over it and rewrote the messages from being like, I don't even know what they were before, but they changed them while most of us were asleep. So, I am told a very serious accusation by my friend who I trust and have known for 3 years, Avid MC. And I am put in a situation where I am to believe, how do I want to word this? Where I am to believe this accusation and support Avid, or I am to not support Avid and be labeled an enabler and a bad person. So of course, I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, I hope my friend is okay, right? Because of the accusation, I go, oh my God, I hope you're okay. I'm here to support you. What do you need? In that moment, 9 people leave Skyblock Kingdoms. Not really. 4 people left right away. I think you can guess which 4. They leave right away. And in this moment, I am here for Avid and Marmalade. I am here for both of them. For whatever they need. I am supporting them, and I am here for them. And they start setting their boundaries, telling me who we can and cannot interact with. Because people who interact with outsiders, this group, are bad and the worst and enabling the worst and the horrible people. My good friend Lagundo. Let's introduce him. We love Lagundo. Lagundo's amazing. Lagundo's awesome. Lagundo, I think, to put it bluntly, doesn't buy it. Just to put it bluntly, doesn't buy the accusation. Thank you for the follow. And by that, I mean Lagundo wants to hear both sides. I don't know. I can't speak completely for Lagundo, but from my point of view at the time, it was friend who has this extreme thing going on, friend who just wants to understand the boundary that's been set. And at the time, the boundary that's been set is you have to get permission from Avid before you can interact with a certain set of people. And at the time, I didn't care because I wasn't thinking. Yes, Lagundo told me this. For a week and a half at the very end of March, I'm playing messenger boy between Lagundo and Avid, where they won't talk to each other, even though Lagundo wants to talk to Avid. Avid tells me he wants to talk to Lagundo, but Avid actually doesn't do this stuff. So we're still in context mode, by the way. This is still just context. This isn't even what happened over the last week. This is just context mode. So, I have 2 friends who aren't talking to each other, who are arguing. One of them is hurt. One of them is just trying to figure something out. And I'm playing ping pong, trying to keep up with what's going on and sending messages back and forth. I did that for a week. And at the end of the week, Lagundo comes to me and Lagundo's given up. He tells me he's going to silently leave Skyblock Kingdoms. He's going to stay in the Discord. He's going to say nothing. He's going to mute it, put it in the bottom of his Discord list, and he's just not going to log on for the rest of the server. To which I say, please don't. Let's work this out. At the time, I was very angry at both of them. So I'm like, what the heck? Come on. So all right, so I get one final message from Lagundo. This is all still context. I get one final message from Lagundo, and it's a message that basically reads, hey, Viking, I know you don't want to hear from me right now, but I think Avid is lying to you. They just sent out MCC interest messages asking if people are interested in MCC to react to this message, and he's reacted to it. I take a screenshot of this and I send it to Avid and I say, hey, Avid, is this true? And Avid says, no, he's lying to you. I'm not even in that Discord, and that is an old message. At which point, that broke me because I had been angry at both of them for so long. The thought of Lagundo just tried to lie to me to convince me that Avid was lying, broke my brain, and I cut Lagundo off entirely. The person who put me where I am today basically is like one of the major supporters I have had, one of my biggest mentors in my entire career. I blocked him on everything. Cut him off entirely. Now, that is the end of the context. Let's get to the story. I also want to quickly throw out there, because I'm seeing it in chat a little bit, and I'd like people to be just, I know we're angry, I know we're upset, I know I'm really hurt, a lot of us are hurt, but this is not an excuse to send hate to anybody. Anybody. Even if you really want to, we are not going to do that, okay? I just need to remind everyone, I made my channel, I make my content to spread joy and positivity and make people smile. I'm going to try to make you laugh a little bit during this story. We are not going to talk bad about, spread hate about, or witch hunt anybody, okay? Now that you understand that, now that I have said that, we're going to tell the story. So, I have told this story 34 times. This will be number 35. I am telling the censored version of this story because I want to protect people's identities, and I do not want to incite any kind of movement or anything against anybody else who was not signed up for it. Any usernames you see on the following screenshots are either myself, Avid, or Marmalade, which I did not get permission from, but they've lost the right to ask for privacy at this point, or I have gotten explicit permission from these people to be shown in these screenshots. So, Tuesday, I get a call from a group of friends at TwitchCon a message asking if I can hop in a call with them. We all hop in the call. They're on FaceTime. It's just one call, all of them on FaceTime, sitting in the Airbnb couch. And they come to me and say, hey, Viking, it seems like Avid and Marmalade we're concerned about Avid and Marmalade. This is last week, Tuesday last week. That's when this started, Tuesday last week. They come to me and they say, we're really worried and concerned about Avid and Marmalade. They seemed really angry and really upset. And they said some really concerning things, and we're worried about them. Doesn't seem like they're healing. It just seems like they're dwelling. I say, I have these same concerns because I've noticed this exact same behavior. They seem very angry. They seem very upset. I'll talk to them. They also say we have some other concerns regarding. Sorry, I just got to check Discord real fast. See pings. Okay, we're good. Regarding some behavior from Avid and Marm during season 2 that, if not addressed, will probably make season 3 pretty unbearable, and we probably won't come back. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty serious. Okay, let's hear them out. So I hear them out, and the points that they bring up are the ones that I can really share are, well, Avid and Marmalade were unapproachable this season. It felt very cliquey. It felt like people were walking on eggshells around them. And there was a communication issue, and it felt like we had to win and maintain their favor. And I'm like, okay. As well as an interaction between Avid and Nukery at TwitchCon. I have been given permission by Nuke to talk about that. That's why I say Nuke's name. So I'm like, okay, yeah, these are some pretty serious things. I will talk to them later today. I'm already planning on talking to them anyway because they already asked to call. So if the opportunity comes up, I will talk to them. After this, I call my lawyer. Actually, I didn't ask if I can talk about this on stream. Hold on. Can I talk about this on stream? Can I talk about this call on stream? Hold, please. Okay, I call my lawyer Vintage Applesauce. I was like, wait a minute. Okay. So, not actually a lawyer. I call Vintage. A lawyer in training. Vintage is awesome. And for context, why I'm calling Vintage. A, Vintage is one of my closest friends. B, Vintage is a member of Skyblock Kingdoms. C, Vintage is basically Avid and Marmalade's best friend. If I'm not it, she's it. Viking, the jump scare we just had? What? Anyway, so I call Vintage and I'm like, hey, I say I am worried about Avid and Marm. They don't seem to be healing. I'm just wondering if you feel the same way. At which point she says, yes, I feel the same way. I've seen these things as well. I'm worried about them. I'm like, oh, thank God. Okay, so all these other people feel the same way. And so I tell her everything, all their concerns, and I'm like, I'm calling them in a little bit. Do you want to join that call? And she says, yes. I want you all really quickly. Vintage, you can do it yourself, but one of the mods, please shout out Vintage Applesauce. Because without Vintage Applesauce, this entire scenario would have probably gone very differently. Vintage did so much this past week that has gone unnoticed, and she is a key reason as to how this ends. Because this ends with a good ending. They call my lawyer. I'm allowed to say that? That's not a way. So yes. Vintage and I hop in a call with Avid and Marm. In that call, we start off by talking about roster stuff. That's not important. After the part about rosters kind of coming to an end, I bring up the topic. I'm like, hey, I'm worried about you guys. I'm worried about you. I was talking to Avid more specifically because Avid is the one who's been angrier. Marmalade wasn't expressing as much of an anger thing, but it was still there. But I was really worried about Avid. So I said, Avid, I am worried about you. And he says, okay. And I say, by the way, this is going to be a lot of just, I don't have recordings of all of these calls. I hope you can believe me. I'm going to do my best to directly quote what I remember, but of course, human memory is not the best, but I am going to be here doing my best anyway. So a lot of this will be, I think the phrasing is hearsay, but I'm going to do my best to quote myself and quote what I was heard. So take that with it. You can take anything I say with a grain of salt, but I hope that the actual screenshots I have is more than enough later on. So I say to Avid, I'm worried about you. I'm concerned about you. Avid says, okay. And I say, you just don't seem to be healing. You seem really angry. You seem really upset. And I'm just worried about you. And he says, well, it sounds like you want me to heal at your pace, not my pace. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just worried about you. We move on in the conversation. A little bit later on down the line, I bring up the communication worry that was brought to my attention. And in that moment, Avid interrupts me and goes, speaking about communication and friendship, you don't check in on me like how Vintage does, and that makes you a bad friend. In my mind, I go, that's a personal attack. We're not going to acknowledge that. We're going to keep going. So then I keep going. Shortly after this, I bring up what was asked to be brought up between Avid and Nukery. At which point, unprovoked, Nuke mentioned this in his post if you've seen Nuke's post, but at this point, unprovoked, Avid MC goes, Avid and Marm both start mocking him, completely mocking him, saying, and I quote, well, Nuke is the laughingstock of the Minecraft YouTube community. Everyone above 100K subs just points and laughs at him when they see him because he's just there for the clout, and it's so obvious. I wish I could say I was kidding, but I'm not. At which point, I jump in and say, I don't think that's the case, but okay. At which point, they jump in and they basically go, they dismiss me and say, well, you don't have the whole story. Something I've kind of just realized, but Avid really liked to hold his status over us and pretend that because he had been to all of these big events and been in these things, he knew everybody and knew how everything worked. So we didn't have the whole story is a regularly said sentence to us over the last 3 months. Now, once again, we're not here to talk about this. I defend Nuke. We move on. They shrug it off. They move on. At the end of the call, Avid goes, your delivery of this was really poorly done. It's okay, though. You're young. You'll get better at it as you get older. Once again, another personal attack. Gonna shrug it off. I'm gonna forget it. Or sorry, I'm gonna ignore it, but I'm not gonna forget it. At this point, Vintage and I leave the call. Are you the same age? No, I'm 25. I'm 25 for context. Avid is 33. So he got eight years on me. Although I wouldn't believe it based off of what happened this past week. Anyway. Sorry, I'm adding some colorful commentary. I don't need to do that. I'm telling a story here, and I don't want it to seem... I want it to be the story. Vintage and I hop back in the call with the Airbnb group, and we tell them how poorly things have gone. We then... Well, we don't. The Airbnb group gets a message from Avid and Marm. The message reads... Also, I promise after this, we get to the screenshots. So I don't have a screenshot of this. It's not my screenshot to show. Other people do. I don't have a screenshot of this. But the message sums up to, we're sorry that our pain makes you uncomfortable. And they don't apologize for anything I brought up to them of any of the concerns or anything at all. Now, you can believe that one or not. That's up to you. But now let's get to the screenshots. Haha! So, that night, we don't know what the heck to do. So, we just move on, I guess. We're just like in shock. I go to bed. My girlfriend and I go to bed. The Airbnb group, by the way, they're packing to fly and travel. So the next day is kind of weird. Wake up Wednesday morning. We're on to Wednesday finally. We're on to Wednesday finally. I wake up Wednesday morning to a message from Marmalade. This is a message from Marmalade and a message that comes from Avid. I'm not going to read it, but this is the proof. In this message... The way I read it, the stuff like this, basically, and I totally understandably, Marmalade is simply asking for explanation. She wants some clarification on which concerns are brought up about her, which concerns are brought up about Avid, and which concerns are brought up about both, and that she is hurt that she has been grouped in with so many things, and also hurt that this has just been dumped on them. Which, all very fair. Still in my brain right now, a very fair request. And understandable pain. Will these be posted anywhere? They're kind of hard to read. I wasn't planning on posting them directly anywhere. I might. We'll see. I'd have to kind of check with everybody, but I've already kind of checked. Anyway, that's Marmalade's message. Avid's message basically goes, kudos, get insulted. So, yeah, one of the concerns that was brought up to me was that Avid was the face of SBK. And to be completely honest, Avid was the largest creator, bringing in the most amount of new fans, bringing in the most amount of viewers, and a lot of other creators were viewing Avid as the face of SBK. So, Avid, some of you are already reading this message. Avid messages saying, hey Viking, Marm has covered most of my feelings as well, but I wanted to add my own 2 cents because I am deeply hurt and confused. I thought we agreed that the server would handle internal conflicts amongst themselves. Instead, you took feedback from a group, was it even a group, assumed it to be the full and total truth, and then attacked us. People who you call your friends. You did not sound like you were coming from a place of concern and caring. You sounded angry, and that's something that's always scared me about you. You are too intense for me often, and it makes it very difficult to be your friend. I've run my tweets and messages and plans by you, and you cheered me on. I've always wanted to keep you in the loop. When I talked about removing Nuke from Volcano SMP, you supported me. I only said, sounds good. And now, seemingly after a single conversation, your support flipped. That does not make me feel safe being your friend. I'm still so unclear on what exactly the group wants from me in terms of my recovery. I'm happy to isolate them from it. I'm working on staying off Twitter. I'm going to therapy. I'm seeking help from people who can understand me. But the irony of this is this ordeal has set me back weeks of recovery and re-triggered so much of my trauma. I feel like I've been failed by a friend and the leader of SBK. I do not feel safe on your server now, and I'm not sure how we can come back from this. I ignore Avid's message, because it's basically just a giant personal attack. Vintage was there, which it brings up the next point. Vintage applesauce, everybody. Vintage is awake at this time, luckily. This is in the morning, very earlier morning for me. It's 8 a.m. by the time this conversation is done, as you can see by the timestamps. Vintage says, if I may, I have something I want to say about the tone of Viking's voice during that call and how I, someone who wasn't getting extreme feedback, interpreted it. I know I wasn't on the receiving end of what Viking shared, so I am going to take the criticism differently, but I don't think Viking was talking in a way that was extremely angry. I think it was out of concern, and he was extremely nervous. I love Viking dearly, but his delivery isn't always the best when he's extremely uncomfortable. Being put into this situation out of the blue sucks, and it's extremely nerve-wracking to communicate about worry or criticism between friends, especially when you've known each other for years. Hell, I was trying not to throw up when I was stammering around and how worried I was about you. I can't imagine what it's like having to share the concern of 5 other individuals and then your own. And then she goes on to basically say, I wasn't attacking him. I was extremely nervous. And if you read in here, there's a mention of me lying. During the call with Vintage, Avid, and Marmalade asked if these concerns were coming from myself or if they were coming from others. At which point I said, no, well, actually, yeah, these are coming from others. That's the lie they're talking about. Then Avid goes on to also, why now? And then also, we as a server agreed personal issues should be handled between members. It just doesn't make sense, and I'm sure the core of this will reveal itself as time goes on. Viking is not HR. Viking is the executioner. No, Anathra, you were. No, you were. No. Okay, Anathra, you've name-dropped yourself. Congrats. I said no initially, and then went, yeah, actually, there is a group of people concerned about you. All good, yeah. Yeah, so Viking is not HR, Viking is the executioner. I ignore this again, because once again, I am not here to pick a fight or be painted as a bad guy. I am here to deliver a message. I'm okay with being mentioned too, Viking. Okay, cool. Then I will mention Acorn Bandit. Acorn was also in that group. What does it even mean? Yeah, we'll move on. This isn't mediation either, though. We're just being ignored. Notice the timestamp. It's 8 a.m. I've just woke up. I'm getting showered. I've been to the gym. I just woke up, man. What do you mean ignored? I'm doing my best. How dare I sleep? I know. We are being ignored by Viking, the moderator, the mediator. Marm sent a DM last night. We haven't even received acknowledgement of our messages or the time for follow-up. I actually reacted to Marmalade's message. with an emoji to at least acknowledge that I had read it. Just so, for context. Vintage, again, thank God, basically telling them it's 8 a.m. for Viking. He could be getting ready for the day and wanted to wait to read everything until he was fully awake. Thank God for Vintage. At this point, I finally read everything. I hop in a call with Vintage for several hours, drafting up an apology and an answer. Remember that they made you the executioner by making you send out that message to the people, ask not to return for season 3. Yeah! Hey! Remember that part? 2 full hours of writing an apology, by the way. An apology. And an explanation for all of Marmalade's questions. I'll leave this here. If someone wants a screenshot, you can zoom in on it later. Actually, I'll move it slightly because it needs to go over. Again, if you want to read these, you can screenshot them. Basically, I go through and explain everything that they asked about. After this, they thank me for the apology. They say they're still really hurt. Blah, 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 blah. I kind of just, that's the end of the day. That's the end of the day. Thursday morning, I wake up to a message. Hey guys, in case it wasn't clear, we are hoping the next step to be individual conversations with every member of the situation who feels comfortable. We do not want a group reply. We do not want anything filtered through Viking. If everyone in this situation is friends, then this should not be a hard ask. Heart emoji. I need you guys, I would like to step back for a moment. Has anybody noticed the irony so far? The irony that I was hoping one of these two would see someday. The irony in that if they're asking, if they're demanding me not why have they come to you, Viking, and talk to us instead of talking to us themselves? I'm sorry. It's a funny thing. It's like, come on! It's right in front of you! Please realize what's happening! It never got realized. It never got realized. Never got realized. So then, yes, King Ragnog, you're only the mediator when it benefits them. Hey guys, in case this wasn't clear, we're hoping the next step is individual conversations with every member of the situation who feels comfortable. We do not want a group reply. We do not want anything filtered through Viking. If everyone in this situation is friends, we should not be a hard ask. I will forward this along to everyone. Thank you for the clarification on that. So I do that. I forward it along. And now we're going to step away from the group chats for a little bit. We're going to go back to Minecraft because we have to do some storytelling before we get to this. Important to remind everyone, Avid told Viking not... Yes, in the call on Tuesday, Avid told me that he would not be in touch for the rest of the week and not to contact him. He said that in the call on Tuesday. And then sent me these books and insults on Wednesday. Anyway, thank you, Vintage. I appreciate this. So after I forward along those messages, yeah, literally the first thing they did was message us. Yes. So Thursday morning, I forward along those messages and I'm sitting there waiting for responses. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to call all of the people who went to TwitchCon and ask them how their TwitchCon was. Because I care about my friends. And also, genuinely, I have so much FOMO. I really wanted to go to TwitchCon, and I didn't get to go. Yippee! So I didn't get to go, so I asked to live vicariously through my friends. I ask, and I got permission for this again. I start by calling Nukery. I'll get to this. So Nukery tells me all about TwitchCon. Nuke had a phenomenal time. If you don't know Nukery already, can we get a shout out for Nukery in the chat right now, please? For everyone to go follow Nukery. Nuke is awesome. Nuke knows everybody, and everybody knows Nukery. Nuke was dragging Leon around, introducing him to everybody, because Nuke knows everyone. Nuke went to the partner party. Nuke went to the POW Creations party. Nuke went to, hi, Nature Raiders, welcome in. It's my turn for story time. Nuke went to the charity soccer match hosted by the people that hosted it, right? Monday, whenever I had 3 calls that day. One with Nuke, one with 2 other people, and then one with Acorn. I don't have permission from the 2 in the middle, so I can't say their names. And in all of the calls, it starts off by starting with how much fun TwitchCon was. And then as soon as we get to Monday, it's like, boom. Monday is the catalyst day. Monday is the day where everything went poorly. Monday is the day when all of this started for everyone else. Hi, guys, by the way. If you enjoyed Nature's stream, put a 1 in chat. Anyway. Good. Monday, Avid and Marmalade are leaving TwitchCon. Avid tells me. I told him not to spam so you could focus. Okay. Monday, Avid and Marmalade are leaving. They're leaving. Is this a week ago Monday? Yes. This a week ago Monday. The day after TwitchCon. Nukery goes to the charity football match. And Avid is really mad about that. To the point where if you saw Nukery's message statement, basically Nuke says, I'm going to the football game. I won't see you guys. I hope it's been lovely seeing you, yada, yada, yada. Avid says, OMG, you have so much fun. Nuke says, thank you. Avid kicks Nuke from the group chat and then says that line, which I will not repeat on stream because it is actually language I do not want to use. It is extremely not family friendly. Is the reason Avid was mad about it public knowledge? No. So I'm not name dropping people for a reason. And if you know what was said, you know what was said. If you don't know what was said, I would recommend going and finding Nukery's message in his Discord or on his Twitter, and you can read it there. Avid says that, and then see you all soon, loves, to the rest of everyone else in that group chat. Like, he did this in front of all of the other Skyheads who were in this group chat. At which point, I was told the other Skyheads were just in shock. They didn't know what to do. They were like, what? Later that night, Nukery is on I don't know if I can say, is visiting people. When he gets a message from Avid. Anybody here heard about Gay Volcano SMP? Yeah, Nukery was supposed to be a part of that. Monday night, Avid sends Nukery a message, uninviting him from Volcano SMP. And tries to twist it so that it's a benefit to Nukery. Because it's obvious Nukery wants to succeed in the other group of creators' worlds. And not... And Avid's okay with that. I'm not going to go into more details about that, but that's... Nuke is distraught. Nuke gets home. Nuke gets home, and everyone is there to give him a hug, except Leon. He's pooping, but he gets to it eventually. And then they all start talking. They start talking and realizing and realizing and communicating and getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And they really want to call me Monday night. Don't be vexing. Thank you, Puddleshine. They really want to call, and more concerned, yes. And more concerned. And they really want to call me Monday night, but they wait till Tuesday morning. So that is now, boop, connected back up to the start of the story, skip back to Thursday. Well, after my call with Nukery ends, I'm in another call with some other people, and I get a message from Nukery. Nukery's found out about it, and he is mad. And he says, I'm going to go talk to some of my friends. And he goes and talks to some of his friends. And I get a screenshot from the friends offering support and asking if I'm okay. The same group of people. Yeah, I know, the music is kind of crazy. Anyway, note to new viewers, there are certain names that are banned terms. Yes. Basically, hold on a minute. These this group of people offering support and checking in on me are the same people that have been painted as dangerous and evil and vile, and I need to be careful around them. Hold on a minute. That just makes no sense. What do you mean? That's... Okay, we'll get back to... I don't know. We'll get back to that. My brain just doesn't know what to do with that, and just... Okay, whatever. And then I'm in a call with Acorn because Acorn and another person finally volunteered to talk with Avid and Marm in like a group call. While I am in a call with these people, with Acorn, while I'm in a call with Acorn, I get a notification from an unrelated group chat. I've censored every name of people in here, but all you need to know is that this group chat contained both members of Skyblock Kingdoms and people who weren't on Skyblock Kingdoms. Also, I wish I could turn off ads. I don't want ads to run. Hold on. Let me turn off my ads manager real fast. All right. Hold on. I don't want ads to run right now. I really don't want ads to run right now. I'm gonna... Give me a sec. I don't want to interrupt the story. I will let pre-rolls turn on. Okay. Good. Ads are turned off, so we're good. Okay. Dude, this drama's popping off. Get that bag. I mean, I could, but no, I'd rather tell the complete uninterrupted story. So, yeah, you can silence ads for 5 minutes, but that's only 5 minutes. So I've just turned them off. We'll get pre-roll soon. So, bye, Esther. Where was I? This message. Avid messaging basically saying, you've got to block out the name at the very bottom, Viking. Dang it! Nah! I had 4 other people helping with this, and somebody missed it. Shut up. Shut up. You don't see anything. You saw nothing. Also, technically, I did get permission from them to at least show their names, but like... Okay, anyway. Also, everyone should go support Musi and Box because they're unemployed now. Actually, though, like, Musi is actually completely, like, needs your help. Genuinely go follow Musical, please. Musical makes music, is an amazing, wonderful human being. Okay? And after all of this happened, Musi has cut Avid and Marmalade off and is basically without 90% of her income now. Please help my friend Musical, especially. Also help my friend Random Box. They are both... Box is in the same boat, where like 90% of his income came from one person who we have now completely cut off. please go support my friends Avid and Box and Musi. They are both amazing. Okay? Go check them out. Now, in this group chat, Avid is trying to bring people in who have no context for what's going on. Again, if you want to read this later, you can screenshot it. You can screenshot it. But I'll read a part of it. Hey guys, I'm going to be disbanding this friend group after this weekend. I'm open to hearing your thoughts before doing so, but here are mine. There are so many other spaces now for us all to communicate. The last thing I'd want is for a clique to form as a result of it. Sorry, any group I've made. Person 1 says, I do have to say, this is one of the few spaces I actually feel entirely that I trust each member completely in, and I can kind of just relax and be myself around people. I love that you all actually engage in outside of SBK. I love there are people in the SBK Friends server, which I feel you will point as the alternative, but I do not particularly click with in a way that I feel like I can fully let my guard down around. No offense to you all, but many of you literally said that you default SBK when it's in season in this session, and this is the only place where I truly feel most of you come to regularly outside that I can rely on. Box, oh my God, I'm a mess. I've been so good about it, and then I leave those. Blah! Shout out Box. Box is awesome. Repeats the same thing. And then Avid says, I have to agree with both of you. Recently, Marm and I have received some feedback that we are unapproachable on SBK, which was said, due to a feeling of there being an inner ring. It feels like people are upset that we have a closer friendships to some than others. That was not said. That is Avid lying. You can, if you want, you can go, at this point, I clarify. I'm like, I have to clarify it, right? To clarify, the issue is not with off-server groups. It is when those groups end up impacting on-server actions. Deleting this group chat would only serve to harm our friends more. If you need, you can remove myself, but please do not punish blank and blank for concern that was brought up to you. Also, thank you. Quick shout out. Thank you everyone who's following. I hope it's not just for the drama, because there's not ever any of this ever again. Oh my God. Yeah. I covered it up here, guys. Look, I covered it up there. Basically, then, they start to talk about stuff, saying it seems that there is a separate issue here that is in regards to SBK due to the shared members here and there. If you can't separate that personally, that isn't our fault. It requires a deeper introspection on your behalves into recognizing and correcting your own biases. All that deleting this group would do is act to further atrophy the ability to account for said biases. Can we get a shout out for the Random Box Live and chat as well? They're there. They're the VIP. And you can screenshot this to read along, but the funniest thing to come out of this entire group chat, as we keep going, Marmalade speaks up. Just my 2 cents. No one is talking to us really, so we're really just trying to do our best to figure out how to fix and make up for the hurt we've caused, because we've sat here for 2 days feeling like awful people. We're kind of at what a loss to do. To be fair, I hadn't answered them since that morning, telling them that I'd forwarded a message along. I hadn't given them any direct feedback, but I was communicating with them, at least in the process of, I'm starting the process by forwarding your message along. I'm in a call with Acorn, working out this stuff, and I just need to quickly point out this one message. I'll leave this here for a second. It's not here. Also, a funny thing that happened during all of this, I'm taking screenshots of this and forwarding it along, because what is this going on, right? I'm forwarding these screenshots to people. Mainly my girlfriend, because she gets all the tea, front row seats to all of it, but also to the other people in this group chat, in the other group chat, the Airbnb group chat, because they need to know that this is going on. I made a mistake and hit paste on a screenshot in this group chat, which is why this person says, yeah, Viking, and then, yeah, Viking, yup, screenshots. I'm sending these screenshots because I'm documenting everything just to blank, because she gets the tea. I lie a little bit there, but like, also at the end of the day, that's not the lie that breaks the camel's back. And then, person says, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, hold on, go back. Avid says, I think your harsh truths actually come across as extremely validating. because these have been my exact same thoughts. You're making me feel not crazy. I'm so sorry again for worrying you guys. To which person replies, I'm sorry this was all harsh with a side effect of being validating. In truth, my intentions are the inverse. And all that they get is a thumbs up emoji replying to that. The edit, it is an edited message. The edit, I have a screenshot of the pre-edit. Hold on. Pretty sure I do. Hold on, give me just a moment. I sent it to my girlfriend, so I gotta go find that message, chat with her. 1 second. All right, go back up here. No, I don't have, darn it. I don't have a screenshot of the pre-edited message. Basically, there was a typo and the person fixed the typo. That's all it was. You can choose to believe me there or not. I really don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things. It was like a grammar, like flipping 2 words or something like that. It was not a complete reword. At this point, I'm like, okay, I need to do something. So I make a group chat. Because it's been expressed that it's okay, the green name is Acorn. Acorn said she was fine with me mentioning her. So the green name is Acorn. Acorn is here in this group chat. Everything is turned off right now, mental. Although probably check-ins should have been left on, actually. I don't... Mods, make your best judgment. Hello, guys. When would we all be available to have a group call to discuss things? Sorry for the delay. People asked for time to think. I forward the message. Abbott forwards the message asking for individual calls and not a group conversation. I say, and blank, and get home. Blank will still be traveling. We will not be doing individual calls, sorry. Only one call with Acorn and blank. The others express that they are not ready for calls as emotions are still too high. Can it just be with them and not you, Viking? You don't want me present, I say? Please, God, no. I will tell you that in that moment, that message was the final nail in the coffin. At that moment, shout out Musithical! In that moment right there, Avid MC and Marmalade were no longer a part of Skyblock Kingdoms. They were still gonna have this call, but it pretty much didn't matter what was happening next. I was going to remove them from the server. At the very least for all of Season 3, but probably gone. And I wish it ended there. I wish that's where it ended. But it gets worse. It gets worse. Once again, I am so embarrassed by all of this. I am so embarrassed by all of the red flags I did not see. I am so embarrassed by all of this. Does anybody remember that little screenshot I mentioned I got earlier that day? Checking in to make sure I'm okay. And I'm there if they're there if I need anything. I never learned the other side of the story when accusation was made and friend was hurt. I think it's time I hear that side of the story. So, I messaged back to Nuke, would it be possible to hop in a call with so-and-so? Sorry, just checking something really fast. I see some messages. Okay, good. Only one, okay, good. Friday morning, I hop in a call with Nukery and the group. And over the course of the next 2 hours, and I would like to preface this, whenever there is an argument or a disagreement or a two-sided anything, the truth is in the middle somewhere, right? There's truth to both sides. Okay? Usually. And to be fair, I have no idea what that truth in the middle actually could have been. But over the course of the next 2 hours, it is revealed to me that Avid and Marmalade had lied or exaggerated about every single thing they had told us in the last 3 months about that group of people. And you could say, well, were they lying or was it the truth and you were being lied to by that other group? You could take it that way. But if even half of what I was told was a lie, it's already so bad. The one that Lagundo mentioned specifically hurt me the most. At the very end, remember the context, at the very end, I told the story. Lagundo sent me a final message saying, hey, I think Avid's lying to you. They just sent out the final, the next MCC Rivals sign-up form, and people were told to react if they were interested. And Avid reacted. And I sent that screenshot to Avid MC and said, is this true? And Avid said, no, he's lying to you. I'm not even in that Discord, and that's an old MCC reaction post. While I am in this call, the group opens up Discord, shares their screen, and shows me that message. It is the exact same message that Lagundo had sent me 3 months ago. Avid lied directly to my face and put me in a situation where I either block a liar or ignore it. I completely cut off Lagundo because of that. There are other examples, but I will not share them because it's not possible to share them without revealing who is involved, and I respect people's privacy. Unlike Avid MC and Marmalade. Marmalade also, again, there are lies from Marmalade in there too. I cannot name the examples without revealing who it was, so I will not be revealing it. And then, as if he heard a disturbance in the force. Where is it? Where's this at? Where's this gone? Where's this gone? Where'd it go? Why isn't it? Hold on. Let me open this real fast. I get a message from Avid MC at 2:30 in the afternoon. Hey, buddy. Hope the move is going okay. Still taking a bit of a break, but I've had some good... I swear I censored this. I'm embarrassed. I'm so sorry. Hey, buddy. Hope the move is going okay. Still taking a bit of a break, but I've had a good time away from screens today. Wanted to reach out because I brashly mentioned in our call that I would let you know if I planned to stay with SBK by the end of the week. I do not have plans to leave SBK, provided I'm not voted out or something. I'm looking forward to talking with Acorn and Blank tomorrow, and I think we can resolve this. This is the last message I ever received from Avid MC. And I will never receive another message ever again. The final day, Saturday, I don't have any screenshots from this day. That is the end of the screenshots. Calm down, Photoshop. Anyway. Saturday morning, I hop in a call with Acorn and Blank, and we write up a script. I will read the script. Because I was told that I was attacking and angry, I decided I'm going to read from a script. This is how the call went. I called at precisely 1 p.m. EST and hit record on OBS. And I started the call immediately. As soon as everyone was there, I started the call. Thank you for meeting with us. Before we begin, I would like to say two things. For my safety and the safety of others, this call is being recorded. I would also like to explain the nature of this meeting. I have come to the decision that you, Avid and Marm, will be removed from Skyblock Kingdoms. I reserve this right as the server owner. I understand if this comes as a shock. However, after my speaking with many server members about their concerns and reflecting on past and recent behaviors, I feel that I cannot ignore the amount of concerns that have been brought to my attention, and I'm going to take immediate action. We still intend to discuss the behaviors and actions that have led to this decision in order to provide you with the opportunity to reflect and improve as people, but we will end the conversation if it cannot remain civil and professional. I am now going to turn it over to Acorn and Blank. As soon as I said Blank's name, I haven't hardwired mute microphone. I muted my microphone and I banned them from everything. They then proceeded to talk. During that call, I don't want to believe this, but I'm also half tempted to believe this, that the only reason there was no personal attacks is because we were in a group and there were witnesses and I was recording it, because the amount of attacks I received in the first call really had me worried. Hi, Irish boy. Welcome in. What a stream to come back to. During the call, Avid asks for specific examples. Acorn is listing them off. By the way, again, can I get a shout out for Acorn Bandit, please? Because Acorn Bandit led the majority of this call. She did a phenomenal job making sure we got through everything and keeping us on track and ignoring their attempts at misdirection and manipulation. Acorn did a phenomenal job. So, Acorn kind of runs out of examples, and I decided to bring one up. Avid MC, I have been sitting on your couch when I have heard you and Marmalade both talk about people behind their back. Specifically, and I list the names, including Nukery, who said I could say his name. And Avid says to me right away, well, everybody reserves the right to talk about what they don't like about people in private. Doesn't even consider what I'm saying. Immediately jumps to a defense. Yeah. Later in the call, the conversation switches to Marmalade, because even though all of the concerns was brought up about both of them, Avid wanted to make it seem as though all of them had been pointed at him and that we hadn't said anything about Marmalade's behavior. At which point, hi, welcome home. I'm almost done with the story again. You know? Yeah. Yeah. At which point, Avid brings up a conversation that was shared with him by another person outside of this, who expressed that it not be shared to anybody else except the people who they shared it with originally. I was one of those people. Avid was one of those people. Marmalade was one of those people. The other two people in the call, Acorn and Blank, were not. Avid brings up this conversation, name drops both parties, and tries to compare it to what's happening to Marmalade. At which point I say, Avid MC, you have just broke Blank's boundaries. They told you explicitly not to share that conversation or information with anybody outside of who they shared it with. And you owe them an apology right now. He never sent an apology. All he said to me in the call was, I retract my statement. As if we're in a court of law. As if that does anything. Mr. Boundaries, right? I know, that doesn't even work in court. Yeah. So, I left about 14 minutes ago. Is there any major content I'm missing? I don't know, Ant Meme. The VOD will be up forever, though. So, the call ends, or gets to an end. They're in tears, which I can't even believe are real, based off of everything else I've learned. And they say, is there anything you'd like to say to us, Viking? Anything left to say to us? And I just say, thank you for being a part of Skyblock Kingdoms. Just like that. And then they leave. And I say, that is the end of the call, and I hang up. Or I hang up and I end recording. By the way, they had their webcam on the whole time. None of us had our webcam on. I purposefully hid it because they were going to try to... I'm not going to speculate. I didn't look at their camera the whole time because I didn't want to. I need to show you guys something funny. I just got more confirmation that Avid reacted to the MCC message. Anyway, I have a funny screenshot to show you, but I have to quickly save it and put it on my computer first, and then I'll actually, that's the wrong image. Sorry. That's the wrong one. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Ah, there it is. There it is. Perfect. Okay. Yes. Are you? Oh. I felt the breeze on my back of my leg and thought it was you tickling me. Guys, I just for a bit of lightheartedness, just to give you guys something to laugh about. When I was recording, oh, this doesn't have any names in it or anything. When I was recording the call, I didn't know what to put on screen. And rather than record an like an OBS instance of Discord that I'm going to be alt-tabbing around and doing anything like that with, or recording the webcams or whatever, I just decided, hold on, give me a moment. I got to make sure that I capture this. Perfect. I decided I would make it this. Some of the mods have seen this image. No, it isn't. I saw the memes for the dolphins and I was like, this sucks. So the whole recording, the entire recording is just this with audio. That's it. So the meme of the week is this. Yeah. And there's more stuff because it's the story of them is done, but basically I spent on Saturday, I was in a Discord VC from 9 a.m. till midnight 30. After the call ended at 11:40 a.m., I got in the call. I immediately joined the call with all the Skyheads, and we just start talking. and talking and talking and talking, and more realizations are being brought up, and I start bringing other people into the Discord who were impacted, and we start, everybody just starts going through the laundry list of things that they kind of blew off but now realized, oh my God. And then other people would join and they would share things, and people would join and say, oh, I'll just stop in for a few minutes, and we're there for 4 hours. Like, it is just, I want to also mention, by the end of that 15-hour call, we had decided, I will. We had decided to do a public statement. During that call, I'll jump back a little bit. During that call, for a bit of context, jumping back a little bit, when all of this started happening on Thursday, I shot Lagundo an apology. Because I felt, I had already been thinking about it. I had thought about blocking and cutting off Lagundo every single day since I had done it, right? On Thursday, I decided I'm going to send him an apology for doing that and just reach out. This was prior to learning about them lying about everything, right? This is just something I was like, I need to do this. Lagundo tells me at the time he's not ready to mend things. He's still very, very hurt by how easily I turned my back. And I'm like, I totally understand. And I, in my brain, put one day you might be able to talk to Lagundo again. You might be able to become friends later on down the line. But right now, I'm not going to push it. Saturday, I get a message from Lagundo. Let me into the call. And I am like, completely, what? And I invite Lagundo back to the SPK Discord. And he joins. And he has been told, he had just been in a call with two other people from one SPK, one not SPK, and he had learned everything. Yes, Nature. Yes, that was Saturday night. Lagundo and I still feel horrible and want to have an actual one-on-one conversation with Lagundo. However, that 15-hour call, which Legs was a part of for probably 9 hours, was really good. It was genuinely everybody coming together and a fog being lifted off of Skyblock Kingdoms. I described it as feeling like I was living inside of my little house, and my house started to crumble around me. And as I'm panicking, trying to figure out what's going on, I look up and open my eyes for the first time and see myself standing in a field, a warm field with my friends. I have been told that this could qualify me as a victim. I am not going to use that mentality, but I will say my server was used to spread hate to people who did not deserve it. I was used to further an agenda of anger and hate by people who would make genuine threats of violence against the people they did not like. I hurt people and cut them off at the advice of bad actors. Within the last 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever it's been, I have had more people support and reach out and check in than I've ever had before. I have realized that those people that I cut off are good people who actually care about me. Thanks, Nuke. Good luck. We all realized just how badly we had been manipulated and used and lied to. Shout out Nukery in the chat. I refuse to let SBK's legacy be tainted by such people. Skyblock Kingdom Season 3 will happen. It will happen without them. My life will happen without them. We are going to come back stronger, better, friendlier, happier. I was walking around the grocery store today and I caught myself scowling. Why was I scowling? I realized that I stood up straight and I just started smiling and instantly had 3 positive interactions with the people I was at the grocery store. It's literally like the shackles of this maniacal thing has been lifted off of me. Genuinely, I have had this sense of anxiety and fear and just genuine confusion for the last 3 months, and it's gone. Skyblock Kingdoms is an extension of myself. I make content with the goal of making people smile and making the world a better place in the only way I know how. Making people laugh. Right? Making people smile. When I created Skyblock Kingdoms, it started as a server of friends. Skyblock Kingdoms will always be a server of friends who talk to each other and don't talk bad about each other behind their back. And that will extend to the community. I will always strive to create a community of people who seek positivity in the world, who don't talk bad about their friends behind their back, who don't say, if this was a movie, I could get away with killing them and everyone would know I did it, but no one would be able to prove it was me. Skyblock Kingdoms will be a place... That is a direct quote, by the way, that I heard in person. I'm very grateful that I've moved recently. Guys, I want to talk a little bit more about just like I know you guys saw how close I was with Avid MC. I was pretty close with Marmalade as well, but it just never felt as close. I went down to Avid's house and moved his gigantic desk because I wanted to see him and wanted to hang out. I've hung out with Avid and his kids. I have spent the night at Avid's house multiple times, and he has visited my old, not now, old apartment many times. I have interrupted a date with my girlfriend to have us go pick up a caramel apple for him and bring it to him because I was told that he was having a rough day by Marmalade and he needed, and I was in town, so I figured I could stop by, knock on his door, and just let him talk for a while. I invited Avid, picked him up, and drove him to my family's Thanksgiving dinner. Welcomed him into my home and sat next to him as I introduced him to my entire family. And he sat there smiling and laughing the whole time. I then drove him home an hour and a half to get home afterwards. So, to Avid and Marm, who I almost guarantee are going to watch this, I doubt they'll make it this far in. They'll be too angry and they'll just leave. But I don't know who you are, but you are not the same people I met all those years ago. I don't know what happened, but I really, really hope that this retirement you're taking allows you to see just how badly you hurt all of us. By the way, speaking on that retirement, we had no idea they were going to do that. I don't even think, I don't want to speculate. It just made everything so much worse. Anyway, I'm sorry. We were all like, oh. Anyway. So, there are more stories. There are more statements. There are more VODs. All I will say is, for everybody, please always check in on your friends. And when you hear something that doesn't sound believable, doesn't sound right, check on it. Check in on it. Also, I will say, because we found out, Avid didn't leave his Discord. He just took away the Avid role and hid in the creator, in the list of his Discord. He's not actually out of his Discord, apparently. I'm not in his Discord. I can't confirm this, but yeah. He's still in there. Because he would have to transfer ownership, which he wouldn't do. Anyway, sorry, that's getting a little too into the heated argument, like accusatory stuff. So, guys, once again, I do not want this to be a call to arms. This is not an excuse to say hateful things to anybody involved, okay? This is not an excuse to be misogynistic or transphobic or homophobic or any kind of phobic, okay? This is not an excuse to spread hate to anybody. Even if we really, really want to, this is not an excuse. We have to be better than them. Because if we do not stand while they run away, we are no better than them. Okay? Skyblock Kingdom is built on kindness and honesty and transparency and having a good time. And it will always be built on that. Okay? I don't have much else to say. To quote my girlfriend, let me repeat this for her. As Twilight Sparkle once said, friendship is magic. I've seen the entire show. So, we haven't, okay, fine. We haven't seen the last 2 seasons, but there's like 13 seasons. So, anyway. Skyblock Kingdom's time for the community to dismiss them, focus on healing, and focus on moving forward. Yes, so final closing thoughts. This is the last time I am talking about them in public. I know for my own sake, I'm gonna have to rant to people, but those people are gonna be my girlfriend and the other people who experience this. But I will no longer be giving them any of my energy in public ever again. What? I was so locked in, I didn't realize my doormat wasn't there. I autopiloted so bad, I'd even took her off a harness and let her run off. Looked down. Oh, it's clear. Oh, Luna, this isn't our house. I'm so sorry. Dude was in his room. I did. You walked into someone's room? I'm sorry, what? 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 I'm sorry. That just caught me so off guard. We just walked into some random guy's house. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Please be safe, everybody. So here's the plan going forward. Skyblock Kingdoms needs time to heal. I need time to heal. Although I think, surprisingly, maybe I'm in denial. I don't know. I feel pretty good right now. But again, ebb and flow. Yesterday I was feeling pretty hollow. Today I'm feeling better. We'll see. Ebb and flow. I'm human. I have never met these people. Tomorrow I'm going to return to streaming normally. On Wednesday, Vintage and I are playing Peak. On Friday, there is an event happening that I am in with a couple other SBKers. I don't think it's been publicly announced yet, so I don't think I can say what it is. But I at least have that. I'm very excited for Peak with Vintage. I might try to get a couple other people in there. We'll see. But Skyblock Kingdoms, as far as Skyblock Kingdoms goes, here's a question you might have missed on that note. Are we still allowed to share the messages you showed? Not to spread any hate, but just to inform others. If you took screenshots, you took screenshots. I made this stream to educate the greater community. Do with that what you will. Do not spread hate. If anybody is caught spreading hate, I will ban you from my community. You will not be welcome in Skyblock Kingdoms. Now, talking about Skyblock Kingdoms healing. We announced at the panel, which I'm still kind of upset about the panel. Now, back when it happened, it was great. But now I'm kind of like, duh, I can't watch it anymore. But this stream will be saved as a VOD on my YouTube channel. Yes. But we announced in the panel that we would be starting Skyblock Kingdoms in the fall. I would still like to hold that. Thank you, Mazes. Welcome in. I would still like to uphold that, but it may be a late fall. Because fall is technically a 3-month window. I was originally, just spoilers, my intentions was September. But at this point, hi Nova, welcome in. At this point, we are going to take time. There's a lot of logistics that have to be handled before we can start planning for a future season. I will say, though, the amount of excitement I have heard from just even a handful of the SBKers for Season 3 is even higher than it was before. So many of them, after all of this has happened, are looking at Season 3 with so much excitement and so much hope. And it's just, hi Shauna, it is just truthfully so exciting that my server isn't dead. So, I have actually pretty much, I mean, normally my streams are 2 hours long here on Twitch for anybody this is your first stream here. I normally end in about 17 minutes. SBK forever, yeah. We're gonna get a new wood type, so honestly the delay might be good for us in the long run because we're getting a new wood type. And honestly, a new wood type is gonna be awesome. Normally at this point, we would be going for another 17 minutes. I don't have anything really kind of left. I guess just, I want to repeat it again. This is the last time I'm talking about it. I would ask you all do the same because to quote Zombie Cleo, hold on, Cleo. She posted this on Blue Sky, so it's not like I'm saying something I shouldn't be saying. Because living without them is our own reward. Living without them is our own reward. Okay? If we move on, we don't forget. The key thing is we don't forget. We don't forget, but we move on. We will be happier and freer than we've been in the last 3 months. Oh my God, Dance 10. Thank you for the 2,500 bits. That's a lot. Thank you very much. So, with that, Storykeeper, thank you for the 100 bits. I am going to call it there. Storykeeper, thank you for the 100 bits. I would like to quickly thank everybody who followed today. I have gained over 172 followers today. The stream peaked at over 1,000 viewers. Thank you very much. Quick little advertisement since you're here anyway. I stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Also, yes, give your money to the pinned comment, please. I appreciate the 300 bits, but please support my friends who are literally going to lose their houses if they don't find a way to support themselves in the next week. So please go check out the people in the pinned comment. Please, 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 please. But yeah, I thank you, Footy. Thank you. But please stop. Don't give it to me. Give it to them. I'm going to go eat birria tacos. Don't worry. But yes, update that, by the way, we're safe for at least 2 months. Oh, thank God. I'm really glad to hear that, Musey. That's awesome. Musey is safe for at least 2 months. Yes. Okay, that's good. I stream 5 days a week. I am going to use this as an opportunity to advertise. I don't care if they might view this as sleazy for, oh, you brought all this drama up just to advertise your stream. I don't care. I'm going to benefit from it. Not monetarily. Please support my friends. But I do stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, going till 8 p.m. Eastern. I stream a lot. Currently working on my Forever World. This that you can see right here is a representation of all of you. This is a physical this world is 2 weeks old. I planted 1 beetroot for every follower I have. Imagine if every single one of these beetroots was a person standing in front of me. This is the support we have seen. Because over 500,000 people have seen that announcement. And countless more have, and a ton of more have sent a bunch of stuff. This is my representation of the community. This is my way of saying thank you to the community. I can't plan 172 more because the race is over, but like I'm going to do it again in a year. So if you follow now, you'll be in a year. It's not an image. No, this is my world. This is the beetroots. You guys are the community that I have built over the last 7 years. And I will be darned if I let this completely destroy all of that hard work. I will continue to fight for you all. I will continue to support you all. I will continue to be an ally for the rest of my life. I will continue to be somebody who spreads joy in this world. Okay? And if I ever do anything to even a remotely fraction of this scale, I hope you treat me the same way, because that is what we do. All right? We are a community that is to make people smile. And I'm not just going to say it and vague tweet about it online, okay? I'm actually going to take action. Thank you for watching today's stream. I think, as sad as it is, this might be my best performing stream of all time that wasn't a front page stream, which is hilarious. So, thank you, Fatty Daddy. Once again, I'm gonna hit this button. Bonk! Bonk! Oh God, I gotta refresh these credits, but there's gonna be too many names for it to show anyway. But I'm gonna refresh these credits real fast. Thank you all so much for watching today's stream. Thank you all so much for listening to my story. Taito, congrats on the 95 stream streak. Thank you so much for being what makes Skyblock Kingdoms so amazing. Thank you for the overwhelming support we have experienced in the last 2 days. Keep being amazing. Keep being good. Support your friends. Throw out liars. Do your own homework. Okay? I'm going to end the YouTube stream first. YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Actually, wait. Is Leon live on both? Because I can raid him on both.
Hey, listen.
Yes. I am going to raid Leon, because Leon is also talking about his own experience. So we're going to raid Leon.
Hey, listen.
I'm going to ask, same thing Nature said. We're going to raid out. When we get there, don't say anything. I'm going to distract him, but I don't want to distract him too. I don't want to overwhelm him. So just pop in there and listen. And if he says hi, you can say hi, but don't, you could send a heart if you want, but yeah, we're not going to do a big raid message. Thank you guys so much for watching today's stream. Check-ins have been turned on. Everyone quickly check in. That's a good point, actually. Everyone check in. If you haven't checked in already, check in real fast because this is your chance to check in for people who do their check-ins. Everyone check in. Yep, check in now. That way we get them all done. That way you don't fall behind. Oh my God, the bot is going to die. The bot, you guys are the bot. The bot's dead. All right. It's going. It's keeping up, though. Everyone check in. I'll let the full raid meter time down. YouTube, thank you so much for watching today's stream. I hope you all have a good life. I hope you all be of good cheer. And I will see you all again tomorrow for a regular stream here on my Forever World. Have a good life. Be good. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, YouTube.